Initial results from Iowa caucuses show Buttigieg has narrow lead. Pete Buttigieg led the field in the first set of results released after Monday night's Iowa caucuses, providing a major boost for the former South Bend, Indiana, mayor. With 71% precincts reporting as of early Wednesday morning, Buttigieg had 26.8% of state delegate equivalents, followed by Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders at 25.2%, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren with 18.4% and former Vice President Joe Biden at 15.4%. The results are a milestone for Buttigieg, the 38-year-old who has vaulted from a relatively obscure mayor to become the first gay candidate to seriously contend for a major party's presidential nomination. Buttigieg choked up Tuesday night as he reflected on his position in Iowa after the first 62% of precincts results were released after nearly 24 hours of delays. It validates for a kid somewhere in a community wondering if he belongs or she belongs or they belong in their own family that if you believe in yourself and your country, there is a lot backing up that belief, Buttigieg said. His position well ahead of the two other leading moderate contenders, fourth-place Biden and fifth-place Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, could give Buttigieg momentum headed into next week's New Hampshire primary. Sanders, meanwhile, showed he remains the preference of progressive voters, leading third-place Warren ahead of next week's showdown in a state that neighbors the homes of both senators. The results are an alarming failure for Biden, whose campaign fell short of the 15% viability threshold in some precincts. The national frontrunner in most polls, whose campaign was built on the argument he is the party's most electable contender, is on course to limp into New Hampshire with a clear loss. The first Democratic results out of Iowa come hours before President Donald Trump is set to deliver his State of the Union speech. It came after a full night of chaos, as an app the Iowa Democratic Party planned to use for precinct chairs to report results encountered trouble. Prior to the initial release of results, the chair of the state Democratic Party, Troy Price, apologized for the delay in the caucus results of the Iowa, saying there was a problem with the backend in reporting the data but ensuring that the data itself was accurate. The reporting of the results and circumstances surrounding the 2020 Iowa Democratic Party caucuses were unacceptable. As chair of the party, I apologize deeply for this, Price said. The bottom line is that we hit a stumbling block on the back end of the reporting of the data, but the one thing I want you to know, we know this data is accurate, he said. Democratic National Committee Chairman Tom Perez called on the maker of the app to provide a full accounting of what went wrong. What happened last night should never happen again. We have staff working around the clock to assist the Iowa Democratic Party to ensure that all votes are counted.